Alright YouTubers, how you doing? Right, I've not done any commentary up to this point. This is a Caterham 7. Bought it from a Copart auction. It's always been a dream to have one. And this one, unfortunately, had a bit of a bash at the front. Now, if you've seen the previous footage, the front end's all mangled. It's basically the only damage on the car. All this section has been pushed back, it's compressed in there. Some welds broken up there. Obviously all the suspension arms have been, that one's just about holding on, but everything else is goosed. Same with the other side, that's completely sheared off. Some bending other bits and bobs. So the plan is to strip the chassis down, engine out, everything back to the bulkhead. It's going to go off to Arch Motors and have a whole new long front put on it, new side panels, and then it can come back to me where we've got some suspension arms sitting over there in that box, new shocks and springs sitting in the box as well. So up to this point, when we picked the car up, when it was in the auction, there was no information on it, didn't know if it ran, didn't run. There was no power to it from what I gather, which makes sense because the isolator key, which I've got spare, this was removed, so obviously nothing was ever going to light up. I put the key in, it shows 19,000 miles, which is about what we expect from the MOTs. Was the last one was 18,000 something, so about 1,000 miles a year since it was new. Now, part of the reason I bought this car, I love the colour, very important, not the colour. I noticed it's got a DVA power sticker on it now. That is a man called, I think, Dave Andrews, forgive me if I'm wrong, and he's a very well known tuner of this 1600k series engine. So I was hoping that it's going to have some mods, but again, we didn't know anything about it, we had no information. Other than it's got some nice options, carbon fibre, albeit damaged, cycle wings. It's got the Caterham tilt bucket seats, carbon dash. So I was hoping that it's a good car, and I've just so when the car came in, I'll give it a once over physically, and the alternator belt had been dislodged by the Apollo tank, I think that's what it's called, been moved backwards and slightly damaged, so I've cut that off. There's no point in keeping hold of it, I'll order a new one. So for the minute, and then I wanted to check that I'll go back a step. Also noticed that the cam cover was slightly cracked under there, and so I was concerned that if anything had gone back and hit the timing belt or impacted anything here, so I wanted to check. So I wanted to turn the engine over by hand, but because this was all, I've jacked this about with a hydraulic ram so I could get a bit more access in here to the crank pulley. I wanted to turn it over by hand, make sure nothing impacted anything, which it didn't. It went round fine. So then took the cam cover off and noticed that we've got some hernia pulleys. So this looks good. Engine wise, I'm sure it's going to be tasty, but we'll find out in the future. Now, I've checked the oil levels good. Obviously the coolant's gone at the moment. So the red over there is toast, no surprise. So, but I've been lucky enough that I've hooked up literally a no-rad temporary system, so I'm going to put some coolant in the tank in a little bit and then see if she'll start and run. I only want to run it for a minute just to listen to it work, because obviously if it's coming out, it'd be nice to know that it runs, and then I haven't got to do much to it on the way back in. Whereas once the engine comes out, obviously there's no point in putting it back in to find it's no good. So that's the plan for later on. But yeah, I mean, I'm very pleased with the purchase. Turn it that bit out. I mean, you know, like I say, physically on the walk round, everything's good. The wheels are no longer in manufacture, and whilst 3 are good, that one there is quite truly in half. But as luck would have it, I found 2 a couple of days after purchasing it. Need a refurb, but they're the right wheels, so I'm going to get these refurbed and then hopefully sell one I don't need, keep the other good one, and happy days. But yeah, so keep you posted. No, that's the nose, what was left of it. I'll keep you posted. I'll do another video when I get it started. Speak to that. Cheers.